14 KJ.
All right. Hey, 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 hey.
Hey, everybody. This is Lisa.
Yes, and Faith.
And you're listening to Vet on This or That podcast.
Yes. Vet on This or That. This is our podcast where we are just a couple of vets just transitioning through life. And yeah, after 20 years of coming back home from deployment, yeah, we're still in transition. So we're going to be talking about some shit, more shit, and a whole lot of shit. And if everybody don't know by now, this podcast is just a potpourri of such shit. And we hope that you are listening to us and liking us and giving us some feedback. Am I right, Lisa? Am I right?
Yes, you are, ma'am. And today's topic.
Yes, what is we talking about today, Lisa?
Today's topic is, hold on to your hats, the C.R.O.W.N affair. How we communicate woman to woman.
Yeah,
I like that.
That sounds good. Woman to woman. That's a song, right? That's a song, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
If you ever been in love.
I didn't want to just sing something I ain't know nothing about. I've only heard the chorus of it, but I don't think I've ever really listened to the song.
Oh, girl, you gotta listen to it.
Yeah, I know. I know what it's about. I know.
I think the two ladies is Betty and Shirley. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's what it is. Isn't that a meme? It wasn't that a whole meme?
I don't know.
But we gotta look it up.
I know they going at it over one man and
over some dudes.
Not to change the subject from what you know how we do. If you would have caught me 25, 30 years ago, man, I was nothing nice. I'll fight you over a boyfriend in a minute. Oh. A boyfriend, yeah, definitely. But now, you can have them. It's too many of y'all out there for me fighting over just one. You can have him.
Right? I don't think I can say that I fought over no dude. I'm just like, at this point, if you don't want me, just go away.
Right.
You know, I probably fought to be kept, but to fight another woman over a guy, not my strong suit.
No.
I'm just like, if you just not feeling me, go ahead, feel somebody else. You felt me while you could.
Y'all see this? She went way off the topic. This is not even a topic.
It's not even a topic. Well, it's about how we communicate, though. But
well, actually, that's true. You're right, because you know what? And this is getting a whole lot personal, but that's what we do on here. For me, and I just thought about this and realized it when we were just saying it. Don't y'all judge me either. And if y'all do, y'all know I don't care. But that was a form of communication for me, fighting. That was a form of communicating for me when I was younger. Fighting was like what I did.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was a form of communicating. I just realized that.
Interesting.
I know, right?
Interesting.
But anyway.
I love it when we go off on these little tangents, because it's like these little eye openers that come out, and it's just like,
right. But you know what? Again, we try to do a little bit of research on these things, on these topics that we put out for you guys. And I'm going to admit now that I've been busy a lot, and I know we all busy, and I just actually flew back in town, so I didn't really do a lot of research. Actually, I didn't do any. So I'm just gonna give you, like I always do, just my perspective of how we communicate, woman to woman, how I communicate. What I do know is that we as women, we have a variety of, we have a lot of different ways of how we communicate. But one thing I do want to say, the best way to communicate with me, Lisa,
Oh, Jesus.
the best way to communicate with me is to listen to understand, don't listen to reply.
Mm,
That's one of the best ways you can communicate with me. And I know people are going to say, "What? I don't really care." When you're talking to me, when we communicate, you gotta you have to always monitor your tone when you're talking to me. Don't be coming at me yelling and screaming and hollering because you get more flies with honey than you do with vinegar.
yes.
Don't come at me, yelling because that's just gonna cause me to shut down. Back in the day, it would cause me to yell back, but I don't have the time for that anymore.
I
And
was
and
going to
I
say you shut down now.
yeah, and now
Okay,
and
because I don't
now
remember shutdown, Lisa.
now I shut down. And
Mm,
and when communicating with me, it's very important to keep it positive.
mm,
And when I
absolutely.
say that, I mean you could tell me how I wronged you or how you felt or whatever it may be that you think I've done to you in this communicating, but you have to keep it positive, because this is a two-way street.
Mm,
We could throw blame all day, but it's never a one-sided thing. So for me, those are the key ways to communicate with me. But as women as a whole, we have a variety of ways of communicating. We communicate when we look directly in your eyes. Like I like to talk to somebody and look them eye to eye. But we have also nonverbal ways that we communicate.
yes.
Facial expressions. I'm
Yes.
good with facial expressions because people always tell me, after they've known me for a while, when I first met you, you seem like you didn't want anybody, like you're confrontational.
Unapproachable.
You
Yeah.
did, yeah, right. You're very unapproachable, and I'm like, why would you say that? They said your facial expression. It's like,
Mm,
don't come over here, don't talk to me, I don't want to be
mm,
bothered. But even though I tried to work on it, I realized that that's just a part of me, and that might be a wall that I have up. I don't know. I don't know how to not. I don't know how to not come into a room of a bunch of people and just to communicate. I'm a sit back and I like to watch and observe the room. So
yeah.
that face that you get probably is because I'm observing and I'm listening a lot. Because I'm gonna pick and choose who I want to speak to. I'm not
Mm,
just going to talk to anybody because that's just not me. So when it comes to how the women communicate, women to women, when I talk to a woman, another female, I try my best when I'm speaking. If I go to speak to her, I want to uplift her. I'm gonna
mm-hmm.
straighten up her crown. I want to talk about personal stuff because women, when we talk, we conversate, we talk about our personal problems and things like that, and that helps build our relationship
Yeah.
because we tend to bounce off one another. If I have kids and you have kids, and I'm like, these bad behind kids, you go, girl, I know. And that's how we build relationships.
Absolutely.
So that
Absolutely.
that that's what I got out of, how women communicate, woman to woman. But that's positive stuff,
Yeah.
actually. There's a lot of negative things too, but we'll go, I guess, into that later. So
We will.
Faith, how do you feel about the
So
communication between the
wow,
two?
that's interesting because growing up I think you had said this before that you were a tomboy when you were
Yes.
younger. Well, I was somewhat the same way too. I was a tomboy when I was younger as well, but I always, I gravitated to hanging out with the guys and I did hanging with the girls and I from a young age I always felt that I was not comfortable excuse me, hanging around people of the same sex as I am. I just felt that, again, younger me, women were catty and all they did was
Yes.
gossip and, they all they did was put each other down. And I didn't want to be involved in that type of thing. I just noticed that when guys hung out with each other, guys cut time, I'm sorry, totally communicated differently. Like they can fight 1 second and be cool the next, especially if they were playing basketball, football, or
Right.
whatever the case may be.
Oh,
And
you're not gonna get that from no chick. You're not getting that from no chick.
no, no,
No,
no,
no,
no,
no.
no, 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 no. It's like, you jump rope. Like, you out there playing double dutch. No, 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 it's my turn. It's my turn. I'm not talking to her no. But then again, it's what we witnessed from our elders or what we witnessed from our parents and stuff like that, what we witnessed from our moms, our aunts, and,
Mhm.
and, and whatever. So And my mother, she was never the catty types. Like she was at least I never paid attention to it, that she involved herself with gossip or anything like that. And
Mm-hmm.
if she did, it was just like a quick blurb here and then she was done.
Right, right,
But
right,
she
right,
didn't stay in it. She didn't sit in it.
right.
My mother was always very reserved, very, prim and proper, and you shouldn't do that and you shouldn't do this or whatever, whatever. I was just the opposite of what my mother was. I'm now more my mother than I ever was. I can't believe I'm
Whoa.
saying this out loud. I think I'm a lot
Wow.
more my mother than I now than I was when I was younger. I was my dad when I was younger.
Yeah. It's funny that you say, if you've been listening and following us, you know that my mom passed away like a week and 2 or 3 days before I turned 13.
Mm,
So I I wouldn't know if I'm more like my mom. I
mm.
would have to ask my siblings that. I know my driving is like my mom. They always say it because I have a heavy foot. So I speed all the time.
Mhm, mhm.
And then living in New York, you got to drive. You can't
Yeah.
play. So I don't know if I'm like more like her or not.
Mm.
And so for you to say, yeah, I was like my dad, younger, now I'm more like my mom. And
Mhm,
I
mhm.
don't know if I don't know if my mom was a gossiper.
Mm.
You know, I don't know if she had a, a bunch of girlfriends.
Girlfriends or
If she,
yeah.
I don't know any of that stuff. I would have to ask my siblings, but
Mhm.
I would love to know if in what way. I know they say that my driving is like my mom, and my fingernails, my mom kept her nails, like stuff like that. But
Yeah.
just me, the way I speak or the way I walk or the way I respond to things, I don't know if
Mm.
if I'm like my mom. But I do know that a lot of it, as I got older, I'm definitely my dad's child, because my dad, my whole life, has always been calm,
Mhm.
cool, and collected. Like, and
Gotcha.
so, and that's how I am now. I'm a whole lot calmer, and Faith can attest to that.
Yeah.
I'm a whole lot calmer now that I've ever been in my life,
Mhm.
because life starts lifing. And when people told me when I was younger, when you get a certain age, a lot of things that used to bother you won't bother you anymore. And I always thought that was a crock of bullshit. People talking us to be talking. And they're right. When you get older, a lot of things that used to bother me, irritate me, make me want to spaz out, make me want to
Mhm.
fight, all that stuff, it does not bother me. It's easy now for me to fall back instead of wanting to fight or things like that. Like, I will distance myself from somebody easily.
Hmm.
And it's like you never existed. I won't block you. I won't delete you out my phone. You can stay there. If you want to look at me on social media all day, you go right ahead. But you gotta know that you and I aren't friends.
Yeah.
But I must say this, going back to the topic, how we as women, how do we communicate with one another? I would rather, and I've always been this way, I would rather have a whole bunch of guy friends
Hmm.
than I do girlfriends.
Yeah.
I've
Same
been
way.
blessed to have a lot of each, and I must admit that where I am in my life right now, the girlfriends that I have in my circle are, I couldn't ask for better human beings
Yeah.
as my
No,
best friends. I could
same.
not. I could
Same.
not. And it took me a long time to get here. It took me a long time to get here, because I would trade a friendship with a girl in for a guy friendship any day.
Mm.
But now I have equal amount of both.
Mhm.
And but again, it's the individual and it's the growth within me.
Yeah.
The growth within
But
me.
talking about this, like I can only go back to like when you and I first met. And then, those who've heard the story, right? But I can only go back to when you and I first met. And it's crazy because in the military, the women in the military, you would think there would be a sisterhood or camaraderie, right? I think it was
Mhm.
more competition for one from a female soldier to another female soldier. Now, if you're a lower enlisted, it is what it is.
It is
Like,
exactly.
she's either your friend or she's not your friend, or you either battle buddies,
Cool
you're
with
not
her.
battle buddies,
Right.
cool or not cool or whatever. But as you go up in rank, and I tell you, we've witnessed this, right? As you went up in rank, like if you became, after you became an E5, I think once you become an E5, it's just like, this is my sister friend right here or whatever.
Right.
But once you move up to that E6 and above, it's always like, it almost looked like there was so much competition between the women. And I'm like, okay, but you guys are the same rank. What's the problem? Like, is it that you just don't want, somebody call you on your bullshit? You don't want to be, told what to do by another superior officer, a superior officer or a superior NCO or whatever the case may be. It's like, it was like always weird. I was just like, why are they at each other's throat? And I think it was the idea of trying to prove yourself as a soldier in an E6 or above position, because now people are looking at you like, oh, you're an E6, you're an E7, E8, whatever, whatever, whatever. And you want to prove that you're worthy of the rank that you wear.
Of that rank. And it's funny because I've never witnessed that in the military until we left to go overseas with the
Absolutely.
E6 females that we had and the
Yes.
E7s. And it was
Yes.
all, and it felt like to me that they always had to try to make the low enlisted, whether it be an E5, E4, they threw their weight around. They
Mm-hmm.
threw their weight around a lot, and it's like, because I'm an E6 or 7, you have to do what I say, even if it has nothing to do with the military or it was just something uncalled for.
Yep.
And I realized that because again, I had an experience, and I think we told that story too. I had an experience. Faith and I actually, it was wrapped around Faith. We had an experience with that, and it was I don't even remember what their rank was, but they were E7s and stuff like that.
E7s,
But
I think they were
like
E7s.
Faith said, if you know the story, you know it. You have to go back and look at some episodes.
Yeah.
But that was a prime example of what you are talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't just do it, the stuff that they did it to us females, female to
Yes.
female.
Yeah.
And that was a bad look for them all around.
Absolutely.
Because now you have us,
Yeah.
the ones that were lower enlisted than they were.
Yeah.
You had us now either scared of you
Mm-hmm.
or had no respect for you.
Exactly.
That was it. It was nothing else. It was either we were scared of you or
Yeah.
we had no
And no
respect for
respect for
you.
you. And I think we were on the side of no respect. We
The
just don't
no
have no
respect. Yeah,
respect,
yeah, yeah.
because it was like, okay, when you're in
Listen,
E5,
listen. Everybody that's listening, it's like y'all know y'all two had the no respect.
like if you're an E5, right? You're coming in as a fresh NCO. You're learning how to be an NCO, non-commissioned
Yes.
officer for you civilians. You're learning how to be a non-commissioned officer. And then you have your E4s and below, which are specialists, E2s, P2s, private ones,
E3.
private twos, or whatever.
Right.
And then the the uh the fight, the fight was, again, you have an E6 who's trying to prove her worth by knocking you down a couple of pegs, right? And making you
Mm-hmm.
feel beneath yourself, or beneath who you've already put yourself out to be. And they're trying to put you in your place, so to speak. And they wanted to get the respect from the male officers and NCOs by putting other people down to prove that they were worthy of
Right.
being in the same rank, or in the same, even just in the same thought of being an NCO. And as E5, and you know what? Let me take it back. Let me take us back just one step. As an NCO, your job is to make sure that your lower enlisteds are taken care of. You do not,
Always. Always.
under any circumstance, you do not allow your NCO, I'm sorry, your lower enlisteds to sleep on the floor and you sleep in the bed. That was
That's
that was the
right.
issue. That was the
That was
issue.
the that was
That was
the
the
issue.
issue. And as an E5, where all others were sleeping on the bed, including the E7s and E6, I slept on the floor because I was off on another mission doing something else. And I asked them to please do not take a top bunk, do not take a lower bunk. Allow me to have a lower bunk because I had foot issues, right? And I asked them not to, just give me a lower bunk. Everybody got their bed and everything else, and I had a top bunk where I had asked specifically, and I had a whole, what you call a profile sheet saying that I can't climb on stuff, that I can't do certain things. But they took it upon themselves to go ahead and give me a top bunk, and then I can't get up there. Now I have to sleep on the floor. So when Lisa gets up to go to the ladies' room or to the latrine, one of the other soldiers, she goes back to her. Was it Devondra? Devondra goes back to watch out. Don't step on Sergeant K. She's on the floor. And when she heard that, I think that I don't know what happened. I think the lights came on and
the earth moved under my feet.
The earth moved. I think God woke up. He said, "Whoa, hold on. What's all this calamity?"
He shook that tin can we were in. He shook it.
Yes, yes. And she said, the next time she sleeps on the floor, everybody's sleeping on the floor. And I don't care if I have to go around and knock everybody off their bed. Everybody's sleeping on the floor. That is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about here, is that the respect level that that Lisa and I gave each other, because when stuff started to hit the fan with her, and they will come around and be like, get Sergeant K, because we can't talk to Lisa. We can't talk to Sergeant Crutch. Get Sergeant K so she could talk to her. It's the communication that she and I had between each other. And I didn't say anything more than, Lisa, I outrank you.
I outrank you.
And the second thing is, get yourself together. We got to work with these white folks. Come on.
Right.
Don't start acting a fool now. Come on, get it together. Come on. And she would lock it up. Then she'd be like, all right.
I snap out of it.
Snap out of it. But this is what we're talking about, is the communication. It's the communicating between Lisa and myself.
The communication and the respect that she and I have for one another.
I gave her, regardless of her rank. I couldn't care for her rank. I cared for the person. Yes. And in the military, you will have these folks coming around talking about respect my rank. And I will let them know I will respect your rank all day, every day. But you as a person, I will not respect. But if I catch you on the street, best to believe you're not going to tell me to respect you based off of your rank in the military, because as civilians, you are nothing to me. Right. You will always be nothing to me because of the way you as a person treated me in your rank. And I'm not buying it. Can't buy it,
So Faith, I'm thinking here while you're speaking. And here's my question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Here's my question. Now I put some thought into this, y'all. So my question: how do we, as women, communicate with each other better? And how do we uplift one another at all costs?
Huh. Thank you for asking that question. I'm glad you did. You know what? Let me tell you, at the end of the day, I am not looking at you as competition, because
you better say that, Faith. You better.
I'm not looking at you as competition.
You better say it again.
Because I got my own shit to do. I'm not trying to take over your stuff. Why would I want to take over your stuff when I got my own stuff to do? I'm not going to cut you. Why should I cut you at the knees, right? Just so I can get ahead. Well, there's enough for everybody.
There's
enough for everybody. Because at the end of the day, when I get up there, when I move, let me tell you something. Let me take this back. Hold on a second.
All right, now,
real quick. I get myself situated. When my friend Lisa, right, in all that she does, okay, I'm not going to sit here and talk about her behind her back, talk about, oh, Lisa did that. No. You know why? Because Lisa, at the end of the day, she's going to turn around and be like, well, what about my friend Faith?
Absolutely.
Why am I going to chop her off at the knees? What for? What benefit does that do for me? And I'm not leaning on her for any type of benefit. I'm not, my blessing, my benefit from all this is that I know her. And it's a benefit for me. It's a blessing to me at the end of the day. And I love her for it. Whether she remembers my name or she will always remember my name. Whether she remembers me in the conversation or not, Okay. At the end of the day, when Lisa comes back to me with good news, that's my good news too. Because I'm
That's
going back
right.
and I'm talking about her. Let me tell you about my friend Lisa. That's how
And,
my conversation goes. Can I tell you about my friend Lisa? Y'all seen that Wonder Warrior Project commercial? That girl that was talking, that's my friend Lisa. Hold on a second. Let me get my phone out. Let me show you my friend Lisa. Y'all seen this face over here? That's my friend Lisa. She and I, we got deployed together. And I'm not doing this, for biggers for me. I'm bragging on my sister. Period. I'm bragging on her. I'm
now
making
y'all
sure that
see
she
why I
sound
love
good,
her.
look good, because when she sound good and look good, Faith sounds good, and she looks good at the end of
Absolutely.
the day. That's
Y'all
what
see
that's
why
what it all boils down to. And
y'all
how
see
can
why I
we?
love her.
Yeah, yeah, see, I'm saying what
See why I
I
love
will.
her.
I will put a billboard on my back with Lisa face on it. Come on
Uh,
now.
Look at her. See? Now y'all see why this chick is my friend.
Say
You
something
understand
bad
that?
about her. Oh, we all
Because
fighting.
that's right, absolutely. Because one thing about Faith, and again, Faith and I have other really good best friends too. Yeah, we
We
do.
got outside
But
friends outside of this
yes,
relationship.
exactly. But a lot of people don't understand. Faith and I were put in a hazardous duty area. Iraq. We was in the middle
Mm-hmm.
of a war. We were in a war.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we've said this on other episodes. Our relationship is different because Faith and I took time in all of that war that was
Mm.
going on around us. We
Mm.
took little moments together. Now, you could take that however you want it. Faith and I, if nothing else, Faith and I would go to the bathroom together.
Boo boo buddy.
That's right. Shower, not together, but at the same time, she would be in the store, I'll be, and we would communicate, talking to one
Mm-hmm.
another, just like we took time. One thing I knew about Faith Camara is that she was reliable.
Thank you.
She had my back. No matter, I'm telling you, if I did something bad, really bad, I can count on Faith to have my back.
Mm-hmm.
She gonna tell me off later, but
Yeah,
she gonna have my back always. Lisa, what
absolutely.
you do? But she gonna make sure she get me out of whatever I done got myself into. And then later on, she be like, "Girl, what did you do?" Like, but Faith was that person, my
Mm-hmm.
person, that I never ever. Y'all gonna have me on here crying. Faith was that one person that I never ever had to second guess about.
There you
I
go.
never had to second guess about her loyalty. And I'm big on loyalty. I never had to second guess on anything. If Faith said, if someone came to me and told me, guess what, Lisa? Faith said XYZ. I promise you, Faith already told it to me. If Faith told me that my eyebrows aren't as good as they used to, and then somebody said, Faith was talking about your eyebrows, I said, oh, she talk about that all the time to me. Like, you're not telling me nothing. Faith is not the type of person to go back and talk negative. That's
No,
just not in her character.
no.
But what you guys don't understand is the way Faith and Lisa communicate every year, every month, every day, every week, however you want to put it, it expands. It gets, we take it into a bigger realm. And when I tell you, I was talking, this podcast would not be what it is today, which you guys may not think is a big deal, but we do. It wouldn't be the way it is and where it is today if it wasn't for Faith. I never once really when we was thinking and I was in my head with all this stuff and doing all I did was say, I think we could do the podcast. Faith was her words was like we.
We who? We who? There was no we in
she,
this.
she gave me all the encouragement, any information that I need. She gave it all to me with no intentions on being opposite me on this thing. And when I asked her, she never ever said no. And to this day, and I don't even care if it's true or not. To this day, I don't know if she did the podcast just because I asked or she did it for her. I don't know. But all I know is that ride or die person that we always talk about, that ride or die chick or guy, you guys are looking at her. That's who Faith is. That's who Faith is to me. That's who Faith is to
Yeah,
me.
me crying
So
up here,
the
girl.
the communication between woman to woman when it comes to Lisa and Faith, We can talk about the serious stuff in life and we can clown all day. Hell, we could do both of them together and come out crying on the other side. But I think but the communication between woman to woman, between Lisa and Faith, has every year gotten better and better and better.
Yes.
And the best thing that I'm gonna say to you guys is the best thing that you can do in this life, one of the best things that you can do in this life is to find yourself your person who knows you, understands you, respects you, and loves you unconditionally.
Unconditionally. Unconditionally.
Whoever that may be, it may a husband, a cousin, but Faith happens to be my person. That's just the
And
way it
Lisa
is.
happens to be my person. At the
So
end of the day, she's my
our
person.
communication skills, the crown affair for us,
Yes.
communicating from woman to woman. Faith and I do it without any.
Yeah.
It's no pressure. It's just real easy. And since we've actually met 2003, since we just been on this roller coaster ride together,
Yes.
it's just been so easy
Yes. Yes.
to. It's been easy to be Faith's friend. It's just
Yeah.
been
And
so easy.
it,
She makes it easy.
I don't want to make it challenging for anybody to be my friend or, to be friends with Lisa either. It shouldn't have to be a challenge to be a friend with any
Right.
female, any woman that
It
that's
is
in your
though.
life.
It is
But
though.
but it is unfortunately it is because we always, I don't want to keep saying we, but we female, we women feel that it's always somebody trying to take over our territory or something that we're doing, even in the dating field. Oh God, let's not even get into
Oh,
that. I
oh,
want
you know what? You read in my mind because this is, and I don't want to cut you off, but I'll be forgetting stuff. And Stacy told me I gotta let Faith talk, but this is what I want to say. You got to figure out where you stand and what works for you.
mm-hmm.
We as females, we have a tendency of sometimes telling all of our business, especially about the men we're dating, to our friends. And before you do
You
that,
throw
you
that in
have to
quotes,
know,
friends.
yeah, friends, but you have to realize who you're talking to. I could tell Faith about the person I'm dating. I could tell her everything down to the, because I choose to if I want to, but that's all
Exactly.
I'm telling Faith. There ain't nothing happening with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to my friend.
Mm-hmm.
But if Faith was someone else, I have to know who I'm talking to. And
Absolutely.
I said this before, my kids say, because I tell them all the time, if you tell all your business, you'll have none. Some people you can't tell everything to, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
not telling us as women to don't tell your business to your friends, or you could tell as much as you want. But what I'm saying is you have to understand and know who you're telling this business to.
Yes.
And don't get mad when you told it to the wrong friend and they told everybody else, or they went back and tried to talk to your man because you done told him that he packing. Girl, this the dude that I would, girl.
He packing
Listen.
Marlboros.
Oh no, you didn't say Marlboro. My mom used to
Marlboro.
smoke Marlboro cigarettes in a red box. Girl, he pack it. He wear 13, and his thing is down. And listen, sometimes you got to keep that to yourself.
Yeah.
You can't tell everybody everything. You have to know
Yeah.
who you're talking to. You
Yeah.
have to.
You know what's funny? I have a cousin. For years, I did not know she was dating anybody. Now she's one of my younger cousins, right? And for years, I did not know. I would see her on Facebook and whatever, whatever. Didn't know she was dating anybody or whatever. When I found out I had a boyfriend when he became
When?
her fiance.
Wow. See,
Those who knew knew. Those who didn't know didn't know.
they weren't supposed to.
Exactly.
They
And I
weren't
was just like,
supposed to.
what? Wait, what?
They weren't supposed to know.
I was like, wait a minute. You telling again? She threw me for a loop again. She had a baby. I didn't even. She had a second baby. I didn't even know. I
Wow.
did not find this out until probably like a couple of weeks ago, like not too
When
long
the baby
after.
turned 18.
No, no, the baby's still young. The baby's still young, probably about a month old or whatever. I didn't
Like,
find this out until a month after
yeah.
she had her daughter. I
Send
was
you an
just like,
invitation to her, hey girl, come see your cousin's
"No,
graduation.
that's
He
what I'm
graduated
saying.
high school. You be like,
How
huh?
did this happen?" And you know what? And again, it is some people do this to protect themselves. I think it's a wonderful thing. I'm like, if you're
Protect your
dating somebody,
peace.
you getting married, you tell you who you want to tell. Those who know will know, those who
Yes.
don't know, and the only reason why people know that Gene exists is because I've shared
Right.
that he does exist on the podcast, right? Y'all
Right.
never seen him, right? But he does exist. And those
Right.
who know, those who've met him, Lisa has met him. Those who have met him know, the type of person he is. He's a wonderful person. He is my heart.
Right.
But for the first couple of years, I wasn't putting him out there on social media. Not
Right.
because I was trying to keep him a secret.
You
I
have
just
to,
didn't
yeah,
want people
but
to know business.
you gotta keep some stuff
Yeah, you
to
gotta keep some stuff
yourself.
to yourself. So
And we as women, I'm sorry, we as women, we have to figure out a way to communicate our feelings and express them, you
mm-hmm,
know, in a positive way.
yeah,
And we have to learn how to put our emotions, if we have to, out there, but just put it out there in a positive note. Don't this is a problem that I have. You put this stuff on social media and
mm,
then you upset when people respond negatively to it.
yeah, yeah,
My whole read on the thing is, if you put it on social media, you actually want people to respond. That's why you
yes,
put it on there. You may say, no, I didn't. Then why did you put it on there for all these people who you probably don't even really know or have not seen in
mm,
years? Why would
mm,
you put it on there, your life, for open it up for discussion
yeah,
if you didn't want that? So we have to find different forms of communicating with one another. If you have a problem with a female, go to her.
you said nothing
Go
but a word.
to
Go to her.
her,
Go to her.
not going to her with your three cousins and your sister and
Yeah,
all of them. Go to her. Let's be mature about this. Go to her if you have a problem. And if the problem is not really, for me, life threatening, I'm in my adult stage. If you could do something to me and I'll never tell you about it. I just distance myself from you. I don't
exactly.
have to explain myself. I don't have to tell you what you did wrong. You know what you did. And if you didn't, sucks to be you. If I don't feel that you're worth, or my peace is worth,
Mm-hmm,
I'm not going to speak to you. I'll just
exactly,
remove myself. So
exactly.
and even though we have the topic, how to communicate woman to woman, this goes for everybody, actually.
Yeah.
We have to find a better way of communicating with one another, especially when we're trying to communicate our feelings and
Mm-hmm.
emotions. We have to. And I know, for me, I think a really good way to do that, because I'm a New Yorker, I talk with my hands, and I'll start getting loud. Even though I'm not yelling and I'm not angry, that's just how I talk.
mm-hmm.
I found out a great way to communicate, especially when you care enough to communicate to that person
Mm-hmm.
and you don't want things to get misunderstood or misinterpreted. Write it.
Write it. Write it
Write
down.
it in a note, in a
Mm-hmm.
letter.
Mm-hmm.
Write it down. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, if you're angry and you want to communicate with somebody, write it in a journal of some sort. Read
Mm.
it, see how it sounds, digest it, and then throw it away. Because
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to communicate with everybody. You don't have to, if somebody gets you upset, you don't have to go and say, you made me angry. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. We as women, we tend to take everything so personal.
mm.
Oh, she looked at my man, or she said that to my child, or she da 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 da. Like, we have to figure, because one thing I've learned from being a parent,
Mm.
when it comes to our children, kids will go at one another. And tomorrow,
They'll be friends.
by the time the bus come and pick them up the next morning, or that afternoon we drop them off, they'll be friends. And us as parents, we still going at one another.
Mm. As parents,
Yes, as
parents, the kids have
parents.
already
The kids are
passed this.
fine.
The kids are fine. They've
We
already put
have
it
to
to the
find,
past and
yes.
everything.
And the ones who go at it the most are us women.
Mm.
Us
Mm.
women, we go at it the most. So we have to learn to communicate, woman to woman, or woman to man, however you taking this. You have to be able to communicate. We have to learn how to communicate in a more positive realm, in a more positive way, where and stop every time you get your feelings hurt. The next thing you do is you lash out, and then you
Mm.
Now you
Mm-hmm.
want to talk bad about this person, or point out the imperfections in a person. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's not good.
Yeah.
And I've done that a lot too. So that's why I can speak on it, because I've been in that place before.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of work, but you have to be willing to do the work. We have to learn how to communicate
Yeah.
with each other a whole lot better than what we're doing. We have to.
So one thing I was looking up, I was doing the research. We reversed roles this time. I was doing a little bit of research. Lisa didn't do any research.
Can't you tell?
Can you tell? Just a little bit, just a little bit. So I was like looking up, women, the stigmatism of women in the workplace. And the thing is, because we have been categorized as being catty and petty and so on and so forth, and we like to live up to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Competition in the workplace is actually something normal. I'm looking at this in Google database, but so they're saying that competition in the workplace is actually something that's normal. But because women are stigmatized as what I mentioned before, as being catty and petty and belittling each other or whatever, when men do it, they're obviously not, they're not catty or petty. They have another way
We
of,
hope not.
I hope not, yeah, but they just have another way of navigating it. They do the same exact thing. The competition is there regardless. You're trying to move up. You might there might be a position open, and there might be several people who are going after it. But men do it in a way where they literally let their work show for them. They
Yes.
they do the work. They put the effort in, whatever, whatever. Women, on the other hand, we do the work, we put the effort in, but we're also throwing little darts at
Mm.
the same time. So this is why when they say the stigmatism, it doesn't look good for women in the workplace for competition. That because there's always that extra caveat of throwing those darts, or trying to again cut them at the kneecaps, and make them look bad. Men may do the same thing, but they're more
They're
they're
not as
more
obvious. They're not as
yeah, they're not as
obvious.
obvious. It's like, they're not going back and talking to their other co-workers and be like, hey, make sure you say that Bob doesn't know how to tie his shoelaces. Whereas we may go back and talk to another colleague like, nah, that dress she was wearing, I don't think it's going to work for her. And did you see how she
Mm.
messed up the last time into the presentation or whatever? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't point, because
It doesn't make you look good.
it doesn't make you look good. Yeah, it doesn't make you look good. And it just, when you do your work, show your work, and let other people see it. Those who are have the mindset of taking in the negative stuff from other people, they would, and that's all they see, because that's all they're gonna, because they heard it, that's all they're gonna see. But those who are like believing that, and shadowing all that out or blocking all that out, whatever, they'll be like, okay, yeah, well, she messed up, that one time or whatever, whatever. She may have dotted her T's and crossed the I's. Okay, well, it's okay, we're human, we make mistakes. But her work ethics says a lot about what she does, and that's what they will see in you, as opposed to what other people will say about
Right.
you, or other women may say about you in their
Right.
cattiness and stuff like that.
That's why
And it
they
goes back
say
to say, what they say about me is none of my business, right?
exactly.
Okay, so we
You gotta
listening to the
let your work
podcast.
speak. Let your work speak for itself.
Let your work speak for
Speak for
itself.
itself.
And they brought up something about lack of role models. Not too many times do you see women in that position. So you always want to be the first woman to take on that position, to take on that role. Like maybe in your job, they may have I'm going to use a law office, law firm, for example. They may have all men partners, right? And they have that one position open to become a partner, and they may say, okay, well, we're looking for a female partner. So now every female is fighting for that position, and in the
Right.
process of doing that, they're knocking each other down, they're
Tearing each
sabotaging
other
this,
down. Yeah.
tearing each other down in the process, and not letting their work show for themselves. Show their more positive characteristics. And so now, they may change their mind and say, well, why would we want a woman now in this position if all they're doing is fighting with each other? Let's just go
They
ahead
can't
and
even
change it over.
communicate. They can't
They
even
can't even
communicate with one
communicate.
another.
Yeah. And I get it that, as women, sometimes all the time, we have to, work twice as hard just to get the recognition, and, we may be overlooked. Uh, we may be overlooked and have a male counterpart take the position that we were going out
Yeah,
for.
and I think that people are going to chime in on this and say
Mm-hmm.
that is what's happening. But what I want to say to that is that you still have to let your work
Your
speak
work
for
show
you.
for you. Yeah.
You don't. What did Michelle Obama say when they go
When they go low, we go
you
high.
go high?
Mm-hmm.
You still have to stay on your path.
Mm-hmm.
You still have to stay
Mm-hmm.
on your path
Or
because
maybe you
you're
just don't need to be there anymore.
that's true.
Find a company that will accept
And
you for who you are, woman and all.
yeah, and so this subject is touchy because we're going to have a lot of people saying well, this is what happened to me and da da da. That's why when we
But
talk,
that's
I always try
okay.
to say this is what I say, or this is faith. I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
only about me and faith. If the
Mm-hmm.
shoe fits, wear it. If you can find yourself in these scenarios, then okay. But I warrant all the feedback. Let us know because we need to hear from
Yeah.
people about how they
Yeah.
feel about a lot of stuff that we talk about. Again, we're not professionals.
No,
We're just
not
giving
by a
you
long
our
shot.
opinions and our things that happen to us in our life. So
Yeah.
um, I
So
just know that you know we need to work on it. We need to
yeah.
work on it.
In my discovery, I found something
Now
in the
now she's Christopher Columbus, y'all.
I know in my discovery, in my research, I came across an article from the Harvard Business Review. And this the title of it is called "It's Time to Break the Cycle of Female Rivalry." This was written in April 14th of 2020 by Michaela Kiner, Michaela, Michaela Kiner, Kiner, and it's in the Harvard Business Review. Okay, so she talks about actions you can take to break the cycle of female rivalry, help women through mentorship, advocacy, and creating opportunities. You can redefine how women interact at work by proving there's room for many. I like that line right there.
Mm,
There's room for everybody, and one thing I heard at one time, if they don't make room at a table, bring a chair, right? If you don't have room at a table, bring a chair. Or if you don't have a seat at the table, excuse me, if you don't have a
bring your
seat at
own
the table,
chair.
bring your own chair. Matter of fact, if they don't even have space, room, or anything
Bring the
at the
table
table,
and the chair.
create your own table.
Right.
Create your own table, which brings and builds opportunities for other like-minded women, such as yourself. In other words, amplify other women. That is, reinforce their ideas and suggestions in meetings to increase their chance of being heard. So when I have an idea, right? If I if they don't really see me or hear me too well, Lisa will bring that up. Lisa will bring up the idea. So I'm very reserved. I like behind the scenes. I enjoy being
Mm-hmm.
behind the scenes. But when Lisa goes out and she talks about the podcast, she talks about me and her. She's not just
Right.
talking about Lisa. She's talking about Lisa and Faith, or Faith and
Right.
Lisa, however you want to do it alphabetically. I don't care. But she'll say, "Well, my partner may have had an idea about yada 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 yada." Be that voice.
Yes.
If you have a position to speak, help those who can't be heard. Again, we talk about
Absolutely.
advocacy, right? The other thing is give women credit for their ideas. I just finished saying that.
Mm,
Da-da-da-da. Their contributions and their accomplishments. When I go out and talk about Lisa, I'm not talking about, well, I'm her friend Faith, and I just want you to know about Lisa. No, 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 no. I
You
I'm
sound like
not
a
gonna lower
superhero.
me. No, I
Da, da,
don't
da,
lower
da.
me. I don't lower me to lift her. Okay. I
Absolutely.
lift me while lifting her.
Amen. That's
That's
right.
what we do.
That's
That's
right.
how she and I communicate. That's how she and I move
Mm-hmm.
just in life, period. Okay. And I even do this in my own job. Like, it's not just, my team or whatever, or my team, blah, 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 blah. My team, specific person, blah, 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 or specific person on my team, blah, 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 blah. That's what
Right.
I do. That's what we should be doing. Um, if you have skills or knowledge that's in high demand, host a brown bag lunch and invite other women to join you. If that feels like too much work, start a book club where women can get
Mm.
to know each other and build relationships. The informal friendship women build serve them well back in more formal. Oh my goodness, I messed that up. The informal friendships women build serve them well back in the more formal work setting. So get to know your sisters
Oh.
outside of the 9 to 5. You
Right.
know, go for that after work drink. That
Or that morning cup of coffee
brunch.
or that lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get go Sunday brunch.
So then when you go back to work on Monday or Tuesday, whatever the day is, you have a little bit more respect for that person, and the communication is starting to build, and
Yes.
you're least likely to talk bad about this person and
Yeah.
more likely to lift them up.
And you don't know what you have in common. And that's the other thing. Just because you work, okay, the only thing you have in common is that you work in the same place. That's beautiful. But there may be other things. She may have had the same idea you had about let's build a an ERG. Forgive me for the acronym. I remember the ERG. But building a support group within the office, right, for
Mm-hmm.
women of color, or
Wow.
just women in general,
Right.
and I hate that I can't remember the letters for ERG. I think it's employment something something group. I can't remember. You'll excuse me, but there's plenty of companies that build ERGs to make to motivate the people that are there. They have ERGs for whether you're African American female, LGBTQ A plus, uh, uh, African American men, Latinx, Latino, just different ERGs that help motivate and build up the company morale, just because they have support and allies that are
Mm-hmm.
part of those ERGs that help build up the company. And nobody ever feels left out. So you could have somebody who's white in the African American ERG, because they're an out they are an ally
Mm-hmm.
to that ERG, which is a beautiful thing at the end of the day. Um, Let me see. Don't talk badly about other women, gossip, or throw them under the bus. If you have constructive feedback for another female, share it with her directly and respectfully. Talk
That's
to
what we
her,
were
not
talking about.
about her.
That's what we
So
were
if
saying
old girl
earlier.
came in, yeah, if old girl came in with a rotten dress, or not a rotten dress, but
A rotten.
that's
What
not the
the
word I
hell?
wanted to use.
The
A
hell does a
rotten
rotten dress look like?
dress. If she came in with the outfit that may not have been too professional, just pull it to the side. Sis, I think what you're having is good, but I think you can tighten it up with this type of outfit. Don't let them see you like this, let them see you like that. Or your presentation was great. I think you could have focused more on the numbers as opposed to the just the survey, the result, the answers to the survey, or something that will help her build her up in the next time around when she has to do a presentation, or
Right.
when she has to go out for a position or something like that. Listen, when we build us up, we take us with us. We take them with us. That makes sense. Okay, it makes sense in my
It
head.
makes sense to me.
It makes sense in my head. Okay. If you overhear a sexist joke or comment, don't let it go. Even a phrase like "I didn't find that funny" or "What did you mean by that?" disrupts the inappropriate behavior. It's so much easier for you to do this when the comment isn't directly directed at you.
Towards you, right?
Yeah. So if you're hearing somebody say something negative about your female coworker, let her know that you have her back by saying,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey, don't talk about
Like
her
that
like
wasn't
that.
cool, right?
That's
That
not
wasn't
cool."
cool.
Yeah. You don't
Like
know
don't.
her, you don't know her situation. She may have had a bad day. She may have had an off day, but instead of talking about, and this is to the male counterparts, saying this to the male counterparts, she may have had an off day, but did you even talk about, lifting her up or helping her out in that situation that she was in? Or don't say that joke. That's not right. I mean, what if that
Right.
was your sister or your mother? You want somebody to talk about your mama like that? You know,
Absolutely.
get them straight real quick when you talk about their mama. I'm not talk about my
And if
mama.
you nip it in the bud in the beginning, then it's least likely to happen again.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you stop it in the beginning, it's least likely to happen a second time. At least from that
absolutely.
person, it is. It's least likely because they know
Yes.
you're not playing with them. You pull
Yeah.
EEOC and get this party popping for
You
real.
don't want you don't want the EEO. You don't want the EEO
Yeah,
in your
EEO on there.
internal
Get this.
affairs don't need to be in your life like
Listen,
that.
listen.
uh I don't like suggestion box, but it says use a company suggestion box and
That's
leader Q&A.
so
Yeah, it's
1980s.
old school, but I mean, I some people still use it. Some people still use it.
Well, I guess the taking the place of suggestion box, the
Yeah.
actual box is just sending an email, I guess.
Yeah, I guess, but it has to be. They're talking about being more anonymous in it, so maybe company survey, something like that. I don't know. I know my company does surveys from time to time, just to
If
get
I'm putting
the
if
feel
I'm
of
putting
the
something in a
environment.
box,
Mm-hmm.
especially at a workplace, if I'm putting something in a box, it better be like a raffle or something where I can win
50-50 raffle.
a 50-50 raffle. I'm not putting those suggestions. No,
Oh my goodness.
I'll do a
Um,
raffle.
Stop expecting more from female versus okay, hold on a second. Stop expecting more from female versus male bosses, peers, and direct reports. Stop judging women, including yourself, using a double standard. Assume best intentions, and if their behavior doesn't make sense to you, get curious. That's interesting.
I guess that's like, so if I did something wrong and my boss, my superior happens to be female, I would expect her to be more lenient on me because she and I are women. I think
Yeah,
that's what that's
don't
saying. Like,
expect that.
no, like don't expect that. Like if you did this
Own up to
the
it.
deed, oh exactly. Whether it
Own up
was a
to it.
man or female, your boss, whichever it was, if you did it, you did it. Don't expect her to be lenient because she's a female, because her job is at jeopardy also. And then you're
Mm-hmm.
not the only one that she's managing, or
Mm-hmm.
supervising. It's other people. So if I do it for you, if I'm lenient, I gotta do it for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So if you did wrong, own up to it, and if you don't, then you got to deal with the consequences. But then
Mm-hmm.
that leads everybody else to know, listen, we're not playing with her because she is by the book. Don't expect her to not be by the book for you, but be by the
Mm-hmm.
book for the men, and
Yeah.
vice versa, the guys too. It's the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah. My COO is African American female. And I think it's amazing, and to have a COO who represents somebody who looks like me, right? And I don't think I would ever, as proud as I am of having her at the company, I would never want to put her in a position where she has to uh justify a shortcoming of mine. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Right.
saying, like, to look over to look over my mistake just
Misconduct.
because,
Yeah,
yeah, just
misconduct.
because she's a sister.
Yes, right.
No, that like don't do that. Don't do that. Don't put anybody in that
Well,
type of
wait.
position.
Off the subject real quick. This
Uh,
this right here, it just reminded me of the pick that they used to stick in the back of the
you know, yeah, that's funny.
my mind is set up. I don't know. I'm sorry, y'all. My brother Brian used to have. He had a big afro, and he used to have that black pick, or it had the spike things, and it
Yeah,
had
it was a
the
metal one. They had the black one
yeah,
with
it
the
had
metal.
the
Yeah.
with the
But
fists.
yeah, my dad used to have one back in the day. I remember, like, you
Have it
know,
stuck on this side of the head, have it
yeah,
stuck up.
with children of the 70s, it is what
So
it
when you went
is.
like this, when
Yeah, I
you
remember we used to have that. I can never. You know what? We had that for a long time. We had that pick for a long time. I don't know whatever happened to it. It's probably hidden in the boxes of life somewhere.
it's not broken because them spike teeth on
Yeah,
it. I don't think them things could bend or break or because them things.
that
Your
could that.
afro, yeah. Mm-mm.
I used to rock an afro way back when,
Oh, not me.
Anyway,
I had too much hair. It had to be. It had to be. My grandmother say it had to be plaited.
black.
Not cornbread or bread. It had to be put in
Plat that
plaits.
baby.
At the plaited.
um, so that's too funny. Again, off on a tangent. It's what we do. Learn from those who have been working longer than you. Reach out to your more experienced female peers. Talk to them about the battles they faced and what they've had to overcome. They will appreciate you asking. So, okay, I'll say
I
this.
kind of agree and disagree with that.
Yeah, yeah, because they'd be like, "Why you asking? You trying to get my job?
Or
Why you eyeballing me like that? You trying to come back to my?"
right. Or just because they've been there longer don't mean they was doing things right. They just didn't get caught. Like you
But then
asking them
it
because
goes back
they're
to observing is observing your peers and stuff like that.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean,
Do your
listen,
own research. I'm a listen.
you do your own
I'm a
research. You're
do
always
your
good at doing.
own
Yeah, when
do
you do
your
your own research.
own research.
Yeah,
Do your own
yeah,
research.
yeah. I don't. I always question, like, if somebody's been sitting in that position for the last 30 years,
What's the problem?
I got questions. I got questions. Like, I'm gonna ask, like, what has changed in the last 30
You know what
years?
the answer gonna be? I like packing bags at Publix, so I don't want to be. I don't want to work as a cash
I've been doing it
register.
for 30 years and I'm good at it.
You're good at it. Ain't never had no problems. Never
Ain't got no
late.
problems.
I
I
get
know
my
where the eggs
25-cent
go.
wrap.
For 30 years, I put the eggs where they're supposed to go, and I ain't had a problem with them breaking.
So
30 years ago, we were using paper bags. We were transferred over to plastic. And look at here, we back of paper.
shout out to Publix and all the bag. What they call the baggers? Because we
I
still have
guess.
baggers out there, all the baggers. And the
Yeah.
good thing is, at Publix, they bags are free. You don't have to pay for no bags. I know up north in New York. I don't know about
The
Jersey, but
recyclable
you gotta
bags,
pay.
yeah.
Yeah, they gotta pay for bags. Down here,
Yeah.
bags is free, except for all these. I think you gotta come
All
in there
these you
with your
got, yeah, you gotta buy
you
the
got.
bags and all these. Yeah.
So do like I do. Leave your Walmart bags in your car, and when you go to all these, and pull them gray bags out.
you know, you gonna keep me away from what I'm trying to do here. So I got a couple more dot points. I'm sorry, a couple more. So offer mentorship to women around you by signing up with your company's mentoring program. If your company doesn't have a program, start one. There
Okay.
you go. Consider mentoring. Consider a mentoring circle where you can mentor one to many. So you'll be the one mentor and you're mentoring several other people around you. I just say if you doing a mentoring circle, each one teach one.
Yes.
So I may be a mentor to somebody, but somebody is a mentor to me. So it's one big happy mentoring family.
Oh, that sounds different.
Yeah, I know. It sounds different and interesting. Post office hours where women can come to you for advice. So many women just need a sounding board or someone to confide in. I don't know. I'm gonna step lightly on that one.
I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm not. Listen,
Yeah,
people gonna be
I
like, I
like the
ain't.
idea, but if it works where it works. It
Yes.
may not work for everybody, but it works
Again,
where it
you gotta
works.
do your research.
Gotta do
You have
your
to do your
research.
research.
Absolutely. Make it a point to know the high potential woman around you so that you can advocate for them when it's time for promotion and pay increases. Oh,
Really?
high potential women. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Make it a point that came out wrong. Make it a point to know the high potential women around you so you can advocate for them when it's time to for time for promotions and pay increases. So basically, when when they're doing the job reviews and pay reviews and everything like that, when you're doing evaluations, like those women who have the high potentials and the opportunities to move up, you can advocate
And
for them and speak
yeah,
on
and make a difference
yeah,
for women at that corporation
absolutely.
or organization.
Especially if you have, I don't want to say position of power, but if you have a higher ranking position, I use that loosely, a higher ranking position. Like I for myself, I'm a assistant director, right? So I know that if there's somebody in my team who I think is good for the position, I my word has weight to it.
Okay, okay,
Okay, it has some weight to it. So as opposed to like their their colleagues, like their team members. So if somebody on their team comes up to me and says, hey, I think that X Y Z has a good opportunity of moving up again in this position, I will turn around and tell them, be like, hey, yeah, I believe so too, and I can use my word as weight because somebody else has told me about this person's potential, and I could, going back and looking at their work, I can say, oh yeah, this person does have a good potential of being in this position and everything. So
right.
yeah.
That's some good stuff. Like I'm sitting back. I know you guys not used to me being just quiet. And somebody's gonna be like, she ain't quiet. I'm because I'm actually enjoying this. Like I'm learning some stuff. I
Yeah,
learn stuff every time we do it, but no, like this is really some stuff here, some good information for me
yeah,
because
good shit never bullshit, right?
yeah.
It's how we do things. It's how we do.
I've been just sitting here too, just realizing, I feel like I haven't been given our um, listeners 100% of me because I haven't been singing. My jokes aren't, as quick as they would normally be.
Here
So
we
I just want
go.
to apologize. I've been so busy. But next time, I'm gonna spit out a song, because they come randomly, and it's gotta be Faith has to do, or I have to do, or say something that that ushers. You like the way I did that, usher? If you know, you know. That ushers a
Mm.
song in. Listen. Just when I thought, I was apologizing for that, but that boom, you see how that worked? Ushered in. For all
Came
those
out of
who
nowhere.
know what I'm talking about, shout out to Usher Raymond. To all y'all who know what I'm talking about, y'all laughing right now.
Hashtag my confession.
Ah!
Hashtag 5011 times. Hashtag.
Hashtag Usher owe me some money.
Oh,
And
good
I'm still
gravy.
sticking with that because I need him to, you know, um, we need to talk.
He need
Let
to
your people
compensate me. I'm telling you, he
and
need to compensate me for half the stuff that I had to listen to.
the good the good thing now is that I can say with confidence and mean it and really, and this is the truth. Let your people call my people because I got people now. Tell your people, Mr. Usher Raymond, to call my people.
Mm-hmm. And listen to her confessions. But
Like Rihanna said, tell your friends to roll up.
God, Lord. Oh my God. Okay, so
It feel like I just now had like an energy drink, like
I know she
some
just had
sort. Like it
just a
just.
burst of inspiration.
All I had to do is say the word usher, let the
Then he
usher
came
in,
right. It came right in. So I'm gonna go ahead and transition to our no good, no better.
no good, no better. I love doing that.
So, so today's no good, no better. Of course, it has to do with a lot of what we're talking about. And if you think about it, When you know good, you do good. But when you know good, you know better. You know better. But this is just sharing with my sisters out there. That make sure that the crown you wear isn't coming off of somebody else's head.
Oh, girl, shut up. Uh-oh.
You know, because
Mm.
listen, and in different aspects, it's if you could snatch somebody's crown, somebody could definitely snatch your crown off. Don't snatch crowns. Just if you have an extra one, pass it over to the next sister and shape it for her. Make it look good. Because you don't want your crown to be crooked and nobody tells you that your crown is crooked or whatever. You know, help another sister out. Talk to another sister. Let her know that, hey, I got something good. We can go ahead and work together. Or, hey, here's an idea that I can share with you. Here's something that we could probably build up on. Don't let don't don't let another sister look bad, walk around these here parts looking bad, because there's somebody else going to do the same thing to you. You walking around looking with your walking with your crown all crooked, and nobody's telling you how to fix it. And that's not a good look. That's not a good look. We need to do better. We need to know
Mm.
better, do better. And that's my no good,
Mm.
no better.
Now that was a really good, no
Thank
good, no
you.
better. I
It was
mean,
right
a
off the
really good.
dome.
It was.
It was right off the crown. Oh, it's
And
what we
right
do.
after no good and no better, I always do the quote of the day. Ding, 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 ding. And everybody knows I say this all the time. The quote of the day could or could not have anything to do with what the topic was for today. Today, I don't think it has anything to do with it, but it still fits with it, I guess. You be the judge of that. So, something simple, and I really like it. Matter of fact, I love this quote. It says, it's, wait, let me get it together. It's okay not to know,
Hmm.
but it's not okay not to try.
Mm.
It's okay not to know, but it's never, ever okay not to try.
Yeah.
That's my quote of the day. Don't be the person that doesn't know, and because you don't know, you won't try.
Mm. Mm. That's
Nothing
good.
beats a failure but to try. You got to
Nothing
try.
beats available to try.
You got to
Yeah.
try. And that's
Yeah.
the quote of the day. It's
Yeah.
not, it's okay not to know, but it's not okay not to try.
Yeah. Let's try our communication. Let's try
Let's
building
let's
that
try.
communication
Let's
with our
try.
sisters.
Let's
Let's try
try.
building that communication with our sisters. That's all I can say. That's all I can, you know, equate with that.
Well,
So
that's
that
all that we
is
have for
all we
you,
have for today.
beautiful, beautiful people. That's all that we have for you today. And we will see you next time with
Yeah.
Yvette on this
Mm, or
or
that.
that.
All right,
Goodbye,
everybody. Have a
everybody.
great one. Enjoy your day and have a good one on purpose.
Bye.
14 Catering.